Last year, a single task took a team of 4 people a full week. This year, one person finished the same thing before lunch. There was no meeting about it, no email, no announcement of any kind. The work just quietly stopped needing them. And honestly, that quiet is the strangest part of the whole thing. You've felt a version of this, even if you've never said it out loud. It's that small thought that shows up late at night after you close the laptop and the room goes still. The one that asks what happens if the thing you're good at slowly stops mattering. Most of us push it straight back down. For the next few minutes, I want to do the opposite and actually sit with it. Not to scare you, but to understand it. Because this has happened many times before, and it almost never arrives in the shape we expect. So start with one simple idea, and everything after it gets easier to see. A job is not really one thing. It's a bundle of separate tasks, loosely tied together by a single title. And when you pull those tasks out one at a time, the title is the last thing left in your hands. Think about the travel agent. They booked your flights, compared the prices, and saved the whole trip when it fell apart at the worst possible moment. Then, the booking quietly moved to a website. Soon, the price comparison went the same way. What stayed behind was only the part a machine couldn't do yet, and for a while that was enough to build a living on. Until one day it wasn't. The job never died in a single dramatic moment. It was hollowed out slowly, from the inside, one task at a time. Now, bring it a little closer to home. A junior analyst used to spend their first couple of years on the slow, unglamorous work. Reading the documents, summarizing the contracts, putting together the rough first draft that someone senior would tear apart. Nobody loved that work, but it was how a person actually learned the job. Today, that first draft appears in seconds, and the summary more or less writes itself. The work still gets done. The quiet question is, who's learning to do it? Because every senior expert you've ever met was once a beginner doing the boring part, and if you quietly remove the boring part, you don't just lose a few jobs this year. You lose the path that turns a beginner into the expert you'll badly need 10 years from now. This time the change didn't start at the top. It started at the bottom rung, the one everybody has to stand on first. And you don't have to imagine any of this. You can already watch it happening. Ask a translator how the last couple of years have felt. Ask a support agent whose replies are now written by a model nobody asked them about. Ask a junior copywriter where the easy work quietly went. None of those jobs vanished overnight. The tasks just started slipping away, one by one, the way they always do. To be fair, the numbers are still new, and serious people genuinely disagree about the cause. Some of it is the tools, some of it is remote work, or hiring that simply paused and never restarted. The full shape is still forming. But the direction is getting hard to miss. Here's the case that breaks the easy version of this story. The bank teller. When the cash machine first arrived, almost everyone assumed tellers were finished. And yet, for years, the number of tellers actually went up. The machine swallowed the routine cash handling, which made each branch cheaper to run, so the banks opened far more branches, and the tellers shifted to the work a screen couldn't do. Then, the routine kept growing, online and then on phones, and the math quietly turned again. That's the real lesson. Automation almost never deletes a job in one clean move. It renegotiates it slowly until one day the new deal simply doesn't include you. Now, here's the part the panic almost always skips. Every wave of automation showed up carrying the exact same warning. The loom would be the end of the weaver. The car would be the end of everyone who made their living from the horse. The spreadsheet would surely be the end of the accountant. And every single time, the old work shrank, while new work appeared that nobody could have named in advance. The accountant is the cleanest example of all. The spreadsheet didn't erase them, it deleted the slow arithmetic and freed them to go find whatever the numbers were quietly hiding. The work simply moved up. So maybe the honest answer really is that simple. Stay calm. The work moves up, it always has. But there's a difference here that's worth sitting with, instead of waving away. The old machines replaced muscle first, and then they replaced narrow routine. And the thing that rescued us every time was the move up toward thinking, judging, and creating. The new tools are aimed directly at that floor. They write, they design, and they reason their way through problems you haven't solved yet, and they do all of it across many different fields at once. They also don't get better in neat little steps, they get better along a curve. The clumsy tool you laughed at this year is not the tool you'll be working next to a year from now. The escape route was always to climb toward more human, more cognitive work. The harder question is what climbing even means when the machine is climbing right beside you. And here's the twist that almost everybody gets backwards. For years we told ourselves a comforting story about which work was safe. The machines would take the dull, repetitive stuff, while the creative work, the writing, the art, the ideas, that was the human part, the safe part. Then the new tools arrived, and they drew, and they wrote, and they composed. The order we were so sure about simply flipped, and that's the lesson buried inside every wave that came before this one. The fear is almost never wrong that change is coming. It's almost always wrong about where it lands first, which is exactly why this is so hard to see while you're inside it. There's no single morning when the machines arrive and a siren goes off. There's only a gap, slowly getting wider. On one side, the people who use these tools every day and quietly do the work of several. On the other, the people who looked once, decided it was a toy, and never looked again. And the ones pulling ahead aren't louder or smarter or younger. They just kept paying attention after everyone else stopped. Leverage is moving from one side to the other, and it's moving without any announcement at all. That's the part nobody is going to sit you down and explain. So if the shape keeps surprising us, is there anything solid left to stand on? There is, and it's worth knowing. Look closely at what these tools still struggle to touch. Work that needs a body in a room. Work where a real person has to be accountable when it all goes wrong. Work built on trust that took years to earn. Taste, judgment in a moment that has no clean answer. The relationship, and not just the task underneath it. None of this is safe forever, but it's the slowest to go, and it's the most human. Which means the real question was never only what the machine can do, it's which of your tasks were ever truly yours to begin with. So go back one more time to that late-night thought, the one about the thing you're good at. Here's what the history actually has to say to it. The danger was never a robot walking in and physically taking your chair. It's your job quietly losing the tasks that made it yours while your title stays painted on the door. So, is your job obsolete? The honest answer is that the question itself is built wrong. Your job is a bundle of tasks, and that bundle is being renegotiated right now, whether or not you're in the room for it. Some roles will shrink. Some will split into things we don't have names for yet. And some that don't exist at all today will be born. This video can't tell you which one of those is yours. Anyone who promises you they can is selling something. What it can do is leave you with the real question, not whether the machine can do your job, because it will do some part of it either way. The question is what you'll do with the part that's left, the part that was always yours, the part worth finding out before someone else finds it out for you.